Hello, I'm Rachel Mulvey, and in this film I'm just going to take you through what universities offer to schools and how you might take advantage of that to enrich what you're offering your pupils in the way of their career management, career development, career learning. We're going to go through 3 different types of activity, and I'll give you examples drawn from my current university, the University of Warwick, where I'm a researcher in the Institute of Employment Research, and from the University of East London, where I worked for many years, latterly as Dean of Psychology. So the first thing to think about is, why are universities doing this? And the simple answer is because things have flipped in universities since perhaps you applied to university yourself, where with the introduction of 9,000 a year fees, pupils are thinking long and hard, even with all the financial support available, thinking long and hard before making that kind of commitment. And therefore universities are having to work much harder to attract and actually to compete for applicants to their courses. And therefore we're seeing a rise in the kind of activities and how universities are reaching out to schools. So I said there are 3 sorts of activity, and the first one is where a lecturer from a university comes into a school, typically to do something subject specific, which would of course be geared to the level of your pupils in the school. So Warwick's chemistry department offers either sixth former lectures on an aspect of research that they're currently doing, or it will do some key stage 2 demonstrations in which they promise loud bangs and flames. There are also online materials which you can use and incorporate in your teaching, and a good example of that, again from Warwick, I'm just checking what it's called, is the Vacuole song, which was very funny and illustrative and quite a novel approach, it seemed to me, to teaching biology. The second traditional kind of movement is pupils going onto a campus, and of course that in itself can be really powerful, simply getting over the threshold of a higher education institution and trying to get a feel for what it might be like to be a student there and to get a sense of how the lecturers are and what the approach is. And typically when pupils come into universities, they would do something subject specific, perhaps doing some animation in a film studio at UEL, or going to the sports dock to do something in sports science, or indeed in podiatry at the University of East London. There are some generalised things as well, not just subject specific. So things like perhaps using drama to develop pupils' communication skills, or indeed things like the Gifted and Talented programme, where you're trying to get people who fall into that category to develop an online community and learn from each other, or indeed the Unitracks programme at the University of Warwick, which is aimed at pupils who come from families with little or no experience of higher education. And that's quite a lengthy programme. It goes all through their GCSE and through their A-levels, so 4 years of getting familiar with and getting to understand what the HEI offer is and how that fits with their choices. So we've got lecturers coming into schools, we've got pupils going onto campus, and the third thing that can happen is where they both meet at an external event, for example the Big Bang Science Fair or the Skills for London employability skills. And there you'd have universities doing a lot of taster sessions and getting a feel for the subject by some practical hands-on kind of thing. So we've looked at why universities are doing it, we've looked a little bit at what universities are offering, but the big question is, why should you get involved? And in answering that, the first thing I want to say is that I know that university is not for everybody, and I will be the first person to acknowledge that. However, I do think everybody deserves the opportunity to think about whether university is a valid career choice for them. And this kind of outreach work really helps pupils get a sense and a space to think about this as an option for them in what can be a very powerful way. So have a look at your local university, or indeed a university that one of your pupils has expressed an interest in. See either on the general pages there might be something under admissions, under outreach, or indeed if you're a subject teacher, have a look at your specific department, history or biology, whatever it may be. But see what's out there, see what they're offering, and see whether or not it would be of use to you, and more importantly, of benefit to your pupils. Good luck.